What if I told you that the word Hebrew doesn't originally refer to just the Jewish people? Today, we're uncovering one of the Bible's most overlooked genealogies. How Eber, great-grandson of Shem, became the ancestor of both Jews and Arabs, and why this matters for understanding God's plan for humanity. Genesis 10:21, in the Berean Standard Bible, makes a stunning statement. Shem was the ancestor of all the sons of Eber. Notice not the ancestor of all the sons of Abraham, but of Eber. Genesis 10:24-5 continues. Arphaxad was the father of Shelah, and Shelah was the father of Eber. 2 sons were born to Eber. One was named Peleg, because in his days the earth was divided. His brother was named Joktan. This is where the story gets fascinating. Eber, or Ever, in Hebrew, is where we get the word Hebrew, or Ivri. When Abraham is called a Hebrew in Genesis 14:13, it literally means he's a descendant of Eber. But here's what most people miss. Abraham wasn't Eber's only descendant, not even close. Let's trace the 2 lines. Through Peleg, Eber's firstborn, we get this lineage. Peleg to Ru, to Serug, to Nahor, to Terah, to Abraham. That's 5 generations from Eber to Abraham. Through Abraham, of course, come the Israelites via Isaac and Jacob, but also the Ishmaelites through Ishmael, the Edomites through Esau, the Moabites and Ammonites through Lot, and the Midianites through Keturah. But Eber had another son, Joktan. And Genesis 10:26-30 lists 13 sons of Joktan, more than any other person in the Table of Nations. These 13 tribes settled from Mesha towards Sephir in the eastern hill country, the Arabian Peninsula. Ancient Arabian genealogies and Islamic traditions recognize Joktan, called Qahtan in Arabic, as the ancestor of the pure Arabs, or the southern Arabian tribes. Think about what this means. Both Jews and Arabs are Hebrews, in the original sense descendants of Eber. This shared ancestry appears in their languages. Hebrew and Arabic are both Semitic languages with striking similarities. The Hebrew Shalom and Arabic Salam. The Hebrew El for God and Arabic Allah. These aren't borrowed words, they're inherited from a common source. Archaeological evidence supports this. Inscriptions from ancient Yemen and southern Arabia, dating back 3,000 years, show languages that bridge Hebrew and Arabic. The Sabaean kingdom, yes. The same Sheba whose queen visited Solomon used a script that scholars place squarely in this linguistic family tree. Here's something remarkable. Genesis 10:25 says Peleg was named because in his days the earth was divided. Many scholars believe this refers to the Tower of Babel event, when languages were confused and people scattered. This would mean Eber lived through Babel, maintaining his language while others changed. Is this why Hebrew and Arabic, along with Aramaic, form such a distinct language family? It's an intriguing possibility. The separation of these lineages carries theological significance. Through Peleg's line came Abraham, through whom God promised, all peoples on earth will be blessed. Genesis 12:3. But Joktan's descendants weren't forgotten. Isaiah 60:6-7 prophesies about Kedar and Nebaioth, Arabian tribes bringing gifts to God's kingdom. Even in separation, God maintained his purposes for both lines. Modern genetic studies add another layer of confirmation. Y-Chromosome, haplogroup J1, common among both Jewish and Arabian populations, shows a common ancestor roughly 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, aligning remarkably with the biblical time frame for Eber. While genetics can't prove specific genealogies, the overall pattern supports the biblical account of shared ancestry with later divergence. Understanding Eber changes how we read the entire Old Testament. When God chose Abraham, he wasn't starting from scratch. He was selecting one line from Eber's descendants for a specific purpose. But God's promise to Abraham included blessing for all peoples, including Abraham's cousins through Joktan. In God's economy, Selection doesn't mean rejection of others. It means responsibility to be a blessing to all. Next time, we'll explore those 13 sons of Joktan and their connection to the Arabian tribes. We'll see how ancient Arab genealogies preserve memories of these biblical ancestors, and why this matters for understanding the Middle East today. Until then, remember, the Bible's genealogies aren't boring lists, they're the framework of human history. God bless, and see you next time.